A weak man in a moment of doom. Bethmann-Hollweg. How a hesitant chancellor allowed war to break out. I am Soldier Petman, and I will show you the most tragic figure of the 20th century. Theobald von Bethmann-Hollweg. The man who could have prevented the greatest disaster in history, but didn't. It wasn't evil like Wilhelm or Izvolsky. It was weakness. And sometimes weakness is worse than evil. 1909. Bethmann-Hollweg becomes the German chancellor. He is an educated, reasonable man. A lawyer, philosopher, lover of literature. The kind of person who would be perfect in peacetime. But he comes to power at a time when Europe is speeding like a train toward the abyss. And he is a man who believes in discussion, compromise, reason, at a time when everyone around him is preparing for war. This is the tragedy. He is not a bad person. He is just a weak leader at a time when the world needs a strong one. And his weakness will cost millions of lives. Bethmann knows that Germany is trapped, surrounded by enemies, dependent on Austria as its only reliable ally. He sees that Wilhelm is a dangerous maniac. He knows that the generals are planning an aggressive war. But he does nothing. He is too weak to stand up to the Kaiser, too hesitant to dismiss the generals, too fearful to change course. His tragedy? He understands everything, but is unable to change anything. In 1912, he knows that the Schlieffen Plan means a world war, yet he allows it to remain in place. He is like a driver who sees he is heading straight for a wall, but he doesn't have the courage to turn the wheel. July 1914. The assassination in Sarajevo happened a week ago. Austria is asking Germany for support against Serbia. Bethmann is to decide the fate of the world. He hesitates for 2 days. He knows that supporting Austria could mean a world war. But he also knows that without Austria, Germany is alone. On July 5th, he gives Austria a blank check. Germany will stand by its ally under all circumstances. This is a death sentence for 20 million people, and Bethmann knows it. But he is too weak to say no. Bethmann thinks he is clever. We'll let Austria crush Serbia quickly. Russia won't have time to react. France will remain neutral. This is the worst calculation in history. Bethmann hopes he can control a war he cannot control. When Russia mobilizes, Bethmann panics. This isn't what I wanted. But it's already too late. Mobilization has its own logic. It can't be stopped. The worst? Bethmann falls. That the Schlieffen Plan requires an attack on Belgium. He knew it would bring Britain into the war. Yet he did not approve it. July. Bethmann finally sees the abyss before him. He writes to Austria. We can't turn all of Europe upside down, but the Austrian General Staff no longer wants to listen. Mobilization is underway, trains are running, armies are marching. August. Bethmann tries for one last miracle. He offers Britain that Germany will not attack France if Britain remains neutral. Response? That is impossible. It's too late for any agreements. Bethmann sits in his office and cries. He's literally crying. A weak man who realized what he had caused. August. Bethmann defends war in front of the Reichstag. Not kind Gebot. Necessity knows no law. They talk about a piece of paper. A piece of paper. About Belgian neutrality. By doing so, he definitively brings Britain into the war. But here's the irony. Bethmann still believes the war will be quick. Home by Christmas, he tells the deputies. He doesn't know he's let the genie out of the bottle and he'll never get it back in. 4 years later, Germany is defeated. The monarchy fell, his own son died at the front. Bethmann died broken, abandoned, hated. William II, he was dangerous because he was strong in the wrong things. Bethmann was dangerous because he was weak at the right things. He saw disaster coming. He understood it better than anyone else. But he didn't have the courage to act. History doesn't just forget the criminals. It also forgets those who let crime happen, even though they could have prevented it. Bethmann could have told Austria, "No, we will not support your aggression." He could have dismissed the mad generals. He could have stood up to the Kaiser. He did nothing, and that's why 20 million people died. Which is worse? Active evil or passive weakness? The man who starts a war, or the man who allows it to break out? Bethmann-Hollweg represents the worst kind of leader, an intelligent person who sees the truth but lacks the courage to act on it. Today, as we witness global tensions, we must ask ourselves a question. Do we have strong leaders who will stop the madness, or weak ones who will allow it to happen? History can be cruel to criminals, but it is even crueler to those who allow crime to happen. Next time, I will tell you about a man who not only allowed evil, but actively supported it. The Austrian Foreign Minister Berchtold. A man who deliberately threw a lit match into a highly volatile barrel of gunpowder and then astonishingly pretended to be utterly surprised when it inevitably exploded with a tremendous boom. I'll be absolutely delighted to thoroughly discuss him and his actions, and if you, the esteemed listener, have any thoughtful opinions or insightful perspectives on this intriguing topic, please feel entirely free to generously share them in the comments section below. Soldier Bethmann.